Good afternoon. My name is Joshua Rivero. I do have the honor of being the mayor of Parker. Thank you for having me up here today. As was stated, I am a Rotarian. I belong to the non-gazebo club. We did not build the gazebo, which the morning club will remind us every day about. But we're still a good club, so no, thank you. I appreciate the Rotary hosting us. I also would like to introduce more formally your town council. If I could, Councilmember Ann Barrington. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem John Dyack. Councilmember Todd Hendricks. Councilmember Brandy Wilkes. And Councilmember Eric Franzen. A great group. Missing is Councilwoman Laura Hefta. Unfortunately, she wasn't feeling well. She couldn't be with us. She sends her apologies. But incredible council. Thank you guys for being here. And I saw some others sneak in. I also saw some elected officials didn't stand up. Bill Shriver. But I see Jackie Millay here. There's some wonderful people here. The lights are bright, but thank you all for your attendance today. Town staff, I've got quite a few staff in the room, but I do want to recognize our boss of bosses, the one and only Michelle Kivala. She is your town manager. And sitting next to her, the chief of police, Mr. Jim Charapis. And then lastly, as far as town goes, I don't know if I have any here, but we have some incredible boards and commissions that serve at our behalf. The Planning Commission, Special Licensing Commission, Youth Commission, Parks and Recs, Open Space Commission, Cultural Commission, and Public Art. Any commission members here today, if you would, please rise and be recognized. I don't see any. They're all being commissioners right now. Oh, yes. Sorry. Ruth Ann. Yay. So we're going to start today talking about our strategic priorities. This is how we do everything at the town of Parker. This is how we budget. This is how we plan. This is how we run the town. And so we've tried to reintroduce this to the citizens. We've talked about, throughout Mike's tenure as mayor, even last year mine, maybe Cassiano's tenure, we talked about the different departments. But we thought it'd be time, and we believe it's time to bring this to the people. This is how we see the town, and we want to show you the town through our lens today. Our council sets a strategic direction of the town of Parker, helping shape goals and tangible results. And to help accomplish this, we have designated 6 specific priorities that represent a combination of organizational town-wide goals. These strategic priorities are displayed here and reviewed and adjusted on a regular basis. Our current priority lists focus on things like promoting activity, engagement in our community, economic success, and balanced growth. Please keep these priorities in mind as we go through the presentation. On the next slide, we're going to take a little look back into 2025. This is primarily a forward-looking speech. I know a lot of State of the Towns are look what we did the last year. We're going to cover that a little bit, but I want to talk about the year going forward. This is primarily, I'd be remiss if I didn't take a few minutes to highlight some of the town's important accomplishments of 2025. And we're going to show you a quick video. It's titled State of the Town 2025. We showed this at our Parker Proud showcase in the fall, but we think it's very apropos because it takes us a look back at what the accomplishments we did have in 2025. So please join me for this video real quick.
It's the 2025 Parker State of the Town, and at 44 years old, our town has plenty to be proud of. Since the town's incorporation in 1981, we have provided safety, support, and fun for Parker's residents, now nearly 70,000 in all. Over the past year, we've completed many new community safety initiatives, like the police department's new K-9 patrol, 10 new sworn-in officers, and increased traffic enforcement efforts with the reintroduction of a traffic unit. Major capital improvement projects have finished, including the Dransfeld Road extension, Parker Road North improvements, and upgraded O'Brien Park landscaping. In our strategic plans, we saw adoption of the modernized land development ordinance, a new Parker Arts master plan, and updates to Parker's economic playbook. New art has popped up all around, like the schoolhouse tree carving, underpass murals, and utility box wraps. A new public art commission has been added to enhance our community's creativity. You also may have noticed new trails like Lemon Gulch Trail and the PSCO Soft Surface Trail. Last year, the town also completed its latest community survey to ask residents how we're doing and how we can keep improving. Other big news included the first Name a Snowplow contest. The town began offering business improvement grants, and we welcomed new primary employers including Flexential, Red Bull, and Safran Defense and Space. We also celebrated news of big expansions by Advent Health Parker Hospital and Kaiser Permanente. Within the town's walls, the honors kept stacking up. The police department's communications center was reaccredited by the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies. Our finance department earned the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award from the Government Finance Officers Association. The O'Brien Park Playground received a 2025 Starburst Award from the Colorado Lottery for excellence in use of lottery funds. And our own town manager, Michelle Kivala, was named one of 10 finalists for the 2024 League of Women in Government Leadership Trailblazer Award. That's already a lot, but be on the lookout for more big things in the next year. Ongoing and upcoming projects include capital improvements like roadway enhancements for Lincoln Road, Jordan Road, Stroh Road, and Parker Road. Our Town Hall addition and renovation continues to bloom. Further attention will be given to the Parker 2050 Comprehensive Plan. Salisbury Park North will start taking shape. You'll see the opening of the Pay Center parking garage. We've also got plans for ADA and digital accessibility projects and growing our civic involvement opportunities. So Parker is looking pretty good at 44 and shaping up to look even better for our 45th anniversary in 2026. Together, we are all Parker proud.
As I stated, we introduced that video at our Parker Showcase, Parker Proud Showcase in the fall of last year. Andy Anderson, communications manager, and I thought it'd be good to throw it in there. It gives you a little bit of a sneak peek as to what's coming later in this speech. So the first thing I want to take in November of last year was our special election. We went to the citizens with 5 questions, 2A through 2E. Graciously, the citizens voted in favor of all 5 of those. We call those charter corrections. As many of you know, this town was founded by 285 people in 1981, and they had a beautiful charter, their constitution, that they voted on and created the town of Parker, incorporated the town of Parker. Unfortunately, documents like that, created in 81, they can get dated. And so we have to go through once in a while and ask for corrections. We did. We asked for 5. The first one creates a vacancy, creates a system for vacancies at the council member or mayor position. There were some loopholes there. We wanted to close those up. 2B, or not, no, sorry, I'm so bad, ensures that all town elected officials must comply with conflict of interest policies. Again, some loopholes there. We want to make sure that we're held to the highest standards as your representatives. 2C prohibits council members and the mayor from holding 2 offices at once. We believe that if you are elected to represent the citizens of Parker, you should do it through one lens, and that lens is the town of Parker. So we are bound here on out by the citizens to represent them and them only. If you want to run for another office, you vacate, and you can run for that office at that point. 2D, we had a board of adjustments that was set up when we were originally founded. We have a planning commission that does that work, and it was redundant. So cost saving and efficiency in government with that one. And then 2E, again, we were one of the only communities that did IGAs, intergovernmental agreements through ordinance. That's a lengthy process, takes a month or plus. Again, efficiency in government and cost savings. So again, thank you to the town and thank you to the citizens for modernizing our charter. Before we look at 2026, I want to take an opportunity here to celebrate the history and an important milestone. As the general recognized earlier, this summer we get to celebrate 250, 150, and for Parker 45. In 2026, our title this year is Back to Our Roots, to celebrate some big national, state, and town anniversaries. We'll incorporate national, state, and town history into a number of our town events in 2026, including Bike to Work, July 4th fireworks, Parker Fall Fest, and our annual holiday events. Follow Talk of the Town newsletter for more information and make sure you're on top of what we're going to do. The town held a contest recently inviting residents to design a logo for our celebration of our 45th anniversary, coinciding with the 150 and the 250. The logo winner, I'm proud to announce, was Kira Parker. The name obviously very apropos, but no relation, but we can pretend. Contest winners, this is a description of her entry. I think I should honor her and read it. I wanted to capture the essence of both the American pride and Colorado pride while having a focus that is still Parker itself. I included the stars and colors to represent the United States, representing Colorado with the classic C in our flag. while each anniversary is listed, the main focus is Parker's anniversary to show Parker pride as well. I also wanted a vintage feel with a nostalgic and a vintage and nostalgic feel, bringing in the anniversary logo. So a huge thank you to Kira. You will find these stickers at Town Hall. They are welcome for everybody. Please stick them and wear them proudly on your water bottles or on your cars or wherever you use them. Furthermore, on our 45th anniversary, we'll be celebrating on May 5th, the day of the town's incorporation. We've come a long way in 45 years, growing from just 285 residents, as I said, to our last estimated count was 72,147 citizens of the town of Parker on January 1st, 2026. The photo here on the screen is an aerial view looking east from what was, for you old folks, Kmart, but prior to that, Littleton Creamery, and looking out towards downtown. While we have grown a lot over the year, our growth rate continues to slow as we inch closer and closer to build out. And what we say by that is what you see going on by the reservoir, that's it. The town of Parker is not going to grow or sprawl anymore past that. When we build out that, we will be done. And so our future looks as to what we're going to do inside of ourselves. How are we going to improve our community within the community itself? It's true that Parker has changed over time, but the same strong knit community and small town feel exists today as when my family first moved here 30 years ago. As was stated earlier, Parker is the people. It is not the area, it is not the town we live in, it is who we are. I'm looking forward to seeing what's in store for our community as we approach our 50th birthday in 2031. On the next slide, looking ahead to 2026, supporting Parker's infrastructure. Now that we've looked back, let's move on to look at some exciting things. Over the next few sections, we look over some important initiatives the important initiatives the town is working on in 26. Let's begin with infrastructure, something that's always a popular topic in our community. Our engineering and public works staffs continue to work hard to support the growth that continues to occur in Parker. Here are just some of the notable infrastructure projects going on throughout town. As was mentioned in the video, Parker Road sidewalks. These are a lengthy process, but you've seen them going on the east side of Parker Road, south of 20 Mile, connecting Robinson Ranch to the rest of the community. Some incredible elevations exist in that area, and rightfully so, our sidewalks are ADA. And so to get those elevations in and to get those sidewalks done, there's a lot of dirt moving. But we promise you that when it's done, it'll look just like it used to. It's going to be wonderful to have those communities connected with walkability and rideability. The Brompton Way project, this one is a short little 150-foot stub of a road. We have some neighbors in Cottonwood on the southwest corner of Cottonwood that are essentially landlocked. They have one way into their community. And we and our friends at South Metro don't like that. We think that they should have two ways in. So we're opening up a road on Brompton Way so they can enter from the north of the neighborhood, or they can exit or enter from the south of the neighborhood by E470. A hugely important, small project, but hugely important for connectivity. And then lastly, the E470 slip ramp. This one, our own Mayor Pro Tem Dyak worked hard and long on. E470 is allowing for a slip ramp. So when you come off of E470 headed eastbound into the town of Parker, you come off on Parker Road, you'll have a choice. You can continue south onto Parker Road, or you can take a little bit sharper right and you can dump out onto 20 Mile. This will give people a chance to get into where they're going quicker than having to get into the mess that is a State Highway 83. So again, an option for our citizens to help with their journeys. 20 Mile Road Bridge replacement. This is the 20 Mile Bridge just north of Target. It is dated and it needs some love, and we've put it off a little bit for budget reasons, but it's coming to you next year. So those of you in that area, bear with us, but it'll be some incredible improvements. Next, I'd like to show you a slide. This is drone footage of the current project of the Lincoln widening, Lincoln and Jordan widening, because I think it started out as a Lincoln widening to match what the county was going to do. They're a little late to the game, but we decided to move ahead with our part. But it turned into the Jordan widening also. On south of Lincoln at Jordan, we're widening that bridge there. So if you would, just a quick little video of what's going on there. The Cherry Creek Bridge, it's going to be 6 lanes all the way to Parker Road. And then this is the Newland Gulch at Lincoln. So again, updating our community to answer the traffic, to give people a smoother journey. And then Jordan Road Bridge gets widened also. Next up, I'd like to show you the Stroh Road project. This one is a long time coming. Your former mayor, Mike Wade, lives down there. Even he couldn't get this one done. I did this. No, this is an ongoing effort, a long effort and a much needed improvement. This partnership is huge. From the developers in the area to your town, the county's road and bridge, we've put them all together to do a much needed project here. 4 lanes from Parker Road to Crowfoot, and then we'll continue points east as that builds out. Much needed project. A huge partner here also, Parker Water. Thank you, Dawn. I think you're in the audience somewhere. A much needed project. Very dated, and the bridge, as you can see in the comparison picture, the old concrete with the new asphalt, you can see how drastically important it was that we got this one done. Next up, I'll take a little time looking ahead, supporting local economy and the business community. The town of Parker continues to place a heavy emphasis on economic development and fostering an environment where local businesses thrive. Council and staff have received a lot of Facebook. I know you have seen a lot of chatter on Facebook and Nextdoor and the like. And the years about adjusting town's policies, standards, and the programs that we could help make easier to start and operate a business in Parker. We listened, we heard, we watched. Councilmember Hendricks was driven to get us to pay attention to Facebook and let's get out there and do some things. And so we did. While it was important, but we've made some important changes to the town land development ordinance and zoning in recent years. There's some more to be done. And here's a few initiatives that we did to help out. First of all is the Parker Launchpad. Our economic development community development and communications team recently launched a new program to help guide business owners through the often complex process of starting, relocating, or expanding a new business in the town of Parker. The Parker Launchpad addresses frequently asked questions and even a step-by-step guide to planning smart, permitting smart, and opening up strong in the town. The Economic Development and Urban Renewal Authority team has also introduced programs to support existing businesses, such as the Lunch and Learn Educational Series and the new Business Improvement Grant System. Secondly, we recognize in the town of Parker that our mobile business code was written in the time of taco trucks at construction sites. When Parker was growing and we were all construction sites and the taco trucks would play their lovely tune and sell to the wonderful construction workers, that's when our code was written. And it was dated. We know now, today, food trucks are incubators. They are where a future chef opens his first business. They were a future coffee shop puts a trailer out before she has the capital to open a brick and mortar. We needed to recognize that, and we needed to update our code, so we did. Thanks to input received from our community and our food truck operators, Town Council recently made changes to the town's municipal code that we hope make running a small mobile business even easier in Parker. We eliminated requirements such as those required a mobile business to move their operations on a regular basis, even if they're located on private property, by creating new standards for daily, short, and long-term operations. We also made changes to the town's sign code and now allow mobile businesses to display more signage, including temporary banners. While some of these changes may be minor, they're just the start. I promised to our small business community and to our business community that we will continue to work with them to to explore and update town regulations that make it easier to do business in the town of Parker. Next up, looking ahead in 2026, promoting responsible growth and development. Construction activity. I mentioned earlier, Parker is indeed growing and continues to be a place where people want to invest in the future. Last year, the town saw a record high of $833 million in construction activity. Major developments include two mixed-use developments downtown. Juniper, pictured behind me, lovely building just opened. Got a brand new coffee shop in it called Marvin's Place. Good chance, go see Marvin. It's incredible. It's going to be wonderful, as we are proud to say Poulette will now be on Main Street, and a future restaurant, incredibly successful and award-winning business here in Parker, will be on Main Street. And then another restaurant, sister restaurant, Jeff's sister restaurant to Wolf Peach will also be on Main Street. So again, good things to come. On top of that, my Main Street, the building that you see building across the street to the north, When all of the My Main Street is done, 7 to 8 new restaurants in those buildings. So choices. We are creating a restaurant district downtown. Hope to keep you guys here. I do love traveling to Castle Rock. I do love going to Lone Tree, but we'd prefer if you stayed here for dinner. Next up, a few other, just if I could, some other developments that I find really important. Mandy mentioned it, Flextential Data Center. I want to take an opportunity here to plug CORE. You guys are all incredibly lucky. CORE is an incredible provider. I talk with mayors weekly that are under the service of Excel. And Excel does good work, but they're behind the times right now. CORE is not. When a data center needed or wanted to come to Parker, CORE stepped up. CORE said, we can handle that need. We can handle that usage. Parker Water did the same thing. This building itself is going to be a beautiful building, a huge boon for our community, and CORE has been there as our partner. I know that some of our neighbors are dealing with Excel. They have projects that are ready to build, ready to go, and unfortunately Excel can't offer them power yet. CORE has never hindered our growth, and we truly appreciate their partnership in our community. A huge thank you to CORE. Some of you may have seen a crane or two to the north side of town. Our wonderful partner, Advent Health Parker, is expanding up 7 stories. It's going to be a beautiful building. Again, a keystone to our community. When a community gets a hospital, that may be the sign, John, that we are no longer a town. And you get your own hospital, you may be qualified as a city, but thankfully our founders put town in the charter and we will forever be known as a town. And then lastly, obviously, and finally, for developments, we're all very proud and we've been very patient. Whole Foods is now in the town of Parker. Jackie can take that back and poke Marissa with that. Sorry. But yes, we have Whole Foods, we have Trader Joe's. When I was running with John and when Mike was mayor, it was always the question, when are we getting In-N-Out? When are we getting Trader Joe's? When are we getting Whole Foods? Again, I am the mayor, you are welcome. I'm just kidding, you guys know I have more humility than that. Parker Comp Plan, this was mentioned also. We go by plan, we do things by planning. When I was first elected, I told this story a couple times this week. When I was first elected in 2012, and John and I sat in that room and we were learning about how the town was run, I didn't understand why we needed to plan so much. We have 15 active plans in the town of Parker. We have the Parker Road Corridor Master Plan. We have the Main Street Master Plan. We have the Bike and Pedestrian Plan. All of these plans. And as a fiscal conservative, I could not understand the time and dollars we were spending for planning. What planning does, though, and what I've learned, is it saves us money in the long run. And it allows us to not make mistakes with taxpayer dollars. It allows us to invest your dollars wisely, because the last thing we want to do is make a mistake with the investments from our community. So planning allows us to foresee what's going to happen in the future, to do our best to see the future. We have been guided by plans. I was with Mary Munikata at Downtown Business Alliance, and she held up our 1985 plan, one of our first. We are currently in our 2035 master plan, and we are in the process of writing our 2050 comprehensive plan. I stated what I stated earlier because the 2035 plan dealt with what we talked about, the growth outward. Parker's not going to grow outward anymore. We're done. We're landlocked, and we're happy at the size we are. But we are going to grow inside. You will see redevelopment. Maybe that old strip mall gets rebuilt. Maybe this housing needs a little bit of change or whatever that case may be. The 2055 plan or 2050 plan will address that. It'll address regrowth. It'll address redevelopment. So be on the lookout for that. There is the opportunity for citizens to get involved. We will keep you updated. Again, Talk of the Town, the website, social media. Please be on the lookout for that. It's incredibly important. That is the guiding document, if you will, to our decisions that the town council makes. Every criteria that they judge hearings on, one of the criteria is, does it align with our master plan? And that master plan includes your opinion, so please be involved in that. Next up, supporting public safety. As was stated, we are hiring police officers. This is not an easy business, as the chief will let you know. It is very competitive, but we have made ourselves competitive, and we will continue to hire this year 8.5 full-time positions, including 1 deputy chief, 2 school resources officers, 2 dispatch technicians, and 1 full-time victim advocate. Touched on it a little bit, but I want to give a shout out to Deputy Chief Chris Peters, newly promoted. Commander Chris Peters is now one of our deputy chiefs. And then also Commander Jake Schuster. Former Sergeant Jake Schuster is now Commander Jake Schuster. Again, 2 homegrown guys that I could not be prouder are moving up within the ranks of our community. And moving on, emergency operations planning. Our emergency operations manager was added to the police department last year to focus on improving emergency preparedness across our organization and community. The town has been finalizing a variety of plans to help respond and recover for any large-scale emergencies and disasters, given our risk of fire and other weather-related events along the Front Range, I say as we are under a red flag warning. These plans include the formal town emergency operation plan and a townwide evacuation plan, along with a hazard mitigation plan in partnership with Douglas County. Again, Sergeant Greg Epp, former Sergeant Greg Epp, retired and immediately came on as our emergency manager. Again, another in-house guy doing an amazing job using those relations that he created while he wore the badge and now continuing to protect and serve our community. Another important partnership that I wanted to point out, we used to be part of Code Red. Take your phones out and delete that app. We are no longer. Code Red had a failure that we recognized wouldn't serve our community anymore. So thankfully, Douglas County stepped up, and we are proud to step alongside them with something called DougCo Alert. This will be our new early warning system for our citizens. Again, DougCo Alert. Google it, do what you need to do to find it, but that is how we will tell our citizens of emergency situations. It's going to be a great program, and we appreciate the county's work on that. Next up, looking ahead, financial responsibility and stewardship. I'll just take a few moments here to look at our total revenues, and you can see the very large print, I'm sure, back of the room. But yes, this is online. This is what we call our open budget. These are available to you. You can go to our website and see these. This is where we get our money and how we spend your money. Different departments, and then obviously different revenue sources. You can see sales and use tax is a large slice of our pie. It is the biggest slice of our pie. This is a dynamic pie chart, though. There are big projects this year, so those numbers are offset. Next year, those projects will be complete, so our budget will look a little bit different. So take a look at it every year. See where your dollars are going, and contact your council members, specifically Todd Hendricks, if you want to know more. Next up, looking ahead, expanding Parker's downtown Civic Center. This was touched on in the video. Town Hall is under construction. I am proud to say that we used cash to pay for that. That was COVID dollars that were recognized 2 years of COVID, 2 years during the pandemic. We recognized in crazy growth in sales tax. People bought too much toilet paper and they built decks they didn't need. And so we captured those dollars, and in 2 years we captured those dollars and we paid for a long needed expansion. This council and previous councils for many years always put off the expansion of Town Hall for more important projects, i.e. this building, the police department, Parker Public Works facility. Those were always more important to us than our office building. Well, finally we found the cash and we are improving the office building. The new site is open. The work wing, as I call it, is open. So the staff that are in the new site are in there. There's a lot of different staff that are hoteling in different areas. Currently under renovation are the administration and court side, or where council will live. Chambers is going under a refit. It's going to be beautiful. And I can't wait to get back in the big room because the little room we're in is driving us nuts. So with that said, the next few weeks here, we are graciously going to be hosted by Parker Water. Again, a shout out to Don Langley, thank you. Our meetings will be over at Parker Water because this time of year, we have a lot of students that come to learn about their government and we can't fit them in the room that we're using for council meetings. So if you're looking for us in the next few weeks here, we'll be over at Parker Water using their incredible facilities. Again, also built by JHL Construction, who is doing Town Hall. So a huge shout out and thank you to JHL. The Pace Center parking garage, now open. I know that these folks here, they are the pioneers. They had to park in there today. They were told to park in there to save space for you to park in the open lot. So again, works well. It's incredible. Very, very appreciative and gracious to Confluence companies, but also our departments that worked hard to get that open on time and under budget. Yes, kind of. So garage is open. Next up for downtown, I spoke about it. You obviously can't miss it. It's covered in green Tyvek right now. But the East Main project is well underway. It will house a restaurant and some more retail, serving Discovery Park and the library. And then next up, if everything goes to plan, the Pine Curve property will go next. Confluence has been an incredible partner and has upheld their end of the bargain. We are continually happy and joyous working with them. Next up, looking forward, supporting our active community. Parker residents love our community parks. In an effort to support active community, we have several new park projects. The biggest one is our Central Park, Salisbury Park. That is a rendition of what Salisbury will look like. That is coming into it from the northwest and heading into the new side of the park. The existing Four Diamonds and then the equestrian to the south still exists. This is the new part. It will be our anchor. It will be the home of many new future events, and we can't wait to host people there. We can't wait to host baseball tournaments and softball tournaments and lacrosse tournaments, and believe it or not, 21 pickleball courts for pickleball tournaments. There will be a professional championship pickleball court for tournaments and plenty of opportunities. And then for us cyclists, there'll be some pump tracks and some off-road track, and the existing cyclocross trail will still be there. So plenty to do for the entire community. Two more newer ones on the southwest corner of town, Looking Glass Community Park, the first of 3 parks in the Looking Glass community. That is the old Stroh Ranch property on the southern edge of what's being built over there. They have 3 other parks also over there, 2 other, Oak Gulch and Brandy Gulch Park. And then on the north part, on the Hess Ranch part, Tantera Community Park. Those are both open to the general public. Those are not neighborhood parks. Those are Parker's parks. We will be deeded those. Very excited about those, adding those to our quiver of parks. And then lastly, downtown, I mentioned it earlier, Confluence is going to tackle Pine Curve next. The majority of that property will be a park. The terminus of Main Street will end in a park. So we've got O'Brien in the middle, and if you go to the west, it ends at Triple C, and on the east, it'll end at the new Pine Curve Park, yet to be named, I believe, park on Pine Curve, and it will do, it'll be an incredible park, doing Main Street justice as a great terminus point. Next up, looking ahead, engaging our citizens. Expanded civic programs. Thanks to in no small part to the addition of new staff roles and focus exclusively on citizen engagement and civic programs, we've made great strides in this area over the past few years. A huge personal shout out and thank you to Sherry Sullivan. She's the one that puts all of this on with the help of Leanna Brooks. Both of them are amazing. They get me to the schools on time, making sure I'm there to speak to the students, and I could not do it without them. We have created civic ambassadors. So those of you that take the time to do our Civic Academy, you'll be turned into a civic ambassador and we will put you to work. And so we're very, very happy to have our first class of civic ambassadors. You can look for them volunteering at many town events. And 37 people completed the first one. Not really in your view because these wonderful people are blocking it from you. But that is our first class of civic ambassadors down there at the bottom. They are excited to get to work and we are grateful to have them. Other civic programs, now offered by the town that have gained momentum over the last few years, lessons in local government. This is what I'm talking about with the schools. We have 3 options. I can go, or council members can go, or I can go to the high schools and talk to government classes, talk about local government. They learn everything about the federal system. They learn a little bit about the state, but unfortunately they don't learn anything about the government that affects them daily. That's their local government, their town government, or their county government. So it's our job to get out to them and talk to them. Obviously, our school district is here. We're gracious that the principals bring us into their buildings. The other option is for those classes to come to town hall and see their government in action. And Chaparral is a big proponent of that. They're showing up. That is one of the reasons that we're going over to Parker Water for the next few weeks. Shep always does that, whereas Legend may ask us to visit them more often. And then lastly, we go to the elementary schools. 3rd grade class, as part of their curriculum, is to talk about local government and citizen involvement. And so I get over there as much as I can. Probably one of my favorite parts of the job is talking to 3rd graders. We end up talking a lot about snowplows, which I really don't mind. I could talk about snowplows all day. And then lastly, regarding getting involved, Aging Well in Parker. One of the last items I want to mention in regards to engagement is the Aging Well in Parker community study that began earlier this year. The town, in partnership with the Parker Senior Center, launched this study to take a fresh look at the services, spaces, and programs that help Parker seniors thrive. Together, we are evaluating how well our current offerings, such as the existing senior center facility and the services it can offer, meet our community needs and what may be required to ensure long-term success. Public feedback is very important for this project, and we hope you can take a few minutes to respond to the survey. Just scan the QR code. I don't know if that's a QR code. But anyway, reach out to me and I'll get you the QR code. Please get involved. One thing about Parker, and it was kind of touched on earlier, when we move here, we fall in love. We don't leave. And that's a good thing. It's a wonderful thing to have that pride in your community. But what that means is we're aging in place. Just a few short years ago, our average age was 33. I believe at last estimation, we were at 35 now. So we are growing in age. That means that we need to look forward to that. We need to plan for the future of an aging community and for a community that is aging in place. And so please, please, please take the time. We want to make sure that we're serving the community as it exists in the town of Parker for the future. And lastly, working ahead, working with our partners. I just want to talk a little bit about what it is your council does outside of town hall, and then I'll let you go outside to have some beverages. But there is an incredible amount that we do. In fact, the majority of our time is not spent at town hall on Mondays. The majority of our time is spent working regionally, working in different organizations. So if I could, I'm just going to walk through a couple slides here about what it is we do. The first slide is within the town of Parker, if you will. These are the different organizations within our town that your council works at. You can see their appointments there. Greater Parker Foundation, the charitable arm of your community. If you want to buy a canine, a vest, the town of Parker cannot accept your gift, but the Greater Parker Foundation can. Investment Advisory Committee, John Dyack sits on that. It's where we invest your dollars very conservatively. And then you see Parker Chamber of Commerce. Obviously, TJ's here. Brandy proudly sits on that. Parker Senior Center, Todd Hendricks, and Parker Water and Sanitation. I don't have to go to many meetings because they are on top of it. They are amazing, but a great partner. Next up, we have regional organizations. These are pretty much within DougCo these are all pretty much in DougCo. Douglas County Homeless Initiative, Laura Hefta, Douglas County Housing Partnership, of course, duly represented by our realtors on the council, Ann Barrington and Brandy Wilkes. Douglas County Youth Initiative, represented by our youngest member on town council, our youthful Brandy Wilkes. And then lastly, partnership with Douglas County, myself and Todd Hendricks. This is a special group. A lot of you in this room know what this is. Every other month we get together, all of us in this room, all the cities and towns, the school district, the library district, our fire district, and the county itself. We get together in a room and we talk to each other. We talk about what we did wonderful. We talk about what we did that didn't work, and we save each other dollars. And it is a great opportunity. Our managers actually meet every month. And then next up, regional state organizations. First couple are mine, very, very boring, long words to say that I focus on stormwater that ends up in the reservoir. And then the Colorado Municipal League Policy Committee. This is active right now. CML is our lobbying organization. And I am on the executive board, and then I chair the policy committee. But Laura Hefta, who couldn't be with us, is one of our policy committee members, and she decides on how we vote and positions we take on the numerous bills that your state legislator put through every year. And then E470 of Dr. Cog, again, John Dyack and transportation dollars. Over $100 million have been invested into the town of Parker. They're outside dollars in the last couple of years. Lincoln, all the widenings that you've seen, the bridge, Dransfeld, all of that, a lot of those dollars are coming from outside this organization. So a huge thank you to John and the staff that worked on those. And then lastly, Metro Mayor's Caucus, 38 mayors in the metro area get together every month and again, talk about what's going on in our communities and everything from e-bikes to fire. But we talk about stuff every month, and it's an incredible organization. So I want to wrap up my time by taking a moment to say thank you to Parker residents and our community partners in attendance today. Myself and your town council are truly appreciative of everything you do that makes Parker great and such a great place to call home. I thank you for taking the time to join us today. We will be having some refreshments in the hallway after this, and I would be remiss if I didn't introduce or say thank you to my lovely partner and my girlfriend, Miss Ana Rivero. Thank I could not do what I do without her holding down the fort. She is Mrs. Fika now, and as I am the mayor, she has taken over our business, and so I am standing up here with you today because of my lovely wife. So thank you to her, thank you to all of you, and thank you to the staff. Appreciate your time.